Welcome to the Games Real podcast brought to you by Bunny Strike Studios. This is James.
And I'm Tyson Diamond Hands Tyson, and what a beautiful weekend to go into.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's this is the Delta version of the podcast with
the best variation of the podcast, because you just don't get to see you don't have to see our faces.
Yeah, not today. Not today. You're going to be getting a beautiful gameplay of what we did in our challenge. The challenge was to try to find a skyscraper to defend. We fell short and only was able to find a short tower to do the challenge on. And the point was to hold on until the tower fell, because eventually the zombies are going to take out the supports. But in pre-gen 03, the map generated pre-gen, there's no skyscrapers that we could find. I mean, it's pretty big, so we might still be able to find one, but it was like 5 days we didn't find one.
Yeah, and we're on Alpha 19, so it's current version. At least in what it says is pre-gen 03 map,
Yeah.
But for everything that we can find off the internet, trying to find like any maps that are based off of that, nothing looks accurate.
No, nothing. It was all just, it was just bizarre that we couldn't find anything. And this map, I'm not used to the maps being surrounded by water, unless the original map that we played was surrounded by water. But this one was like, you're essentially on an island, what it feels like.
Well, yeah, I think you are surrounded by water on all of them, no, maybe it was a dead zone. Maybe it was just like
it was a dead zone.
ultra dead zone, right? And you just hit like a radiation. Yeah, it was red. I remember it was red.
The original.
The
original, right?
Yeah, or at least as far as the Alpha 18.
I think it was the original, and I think it's probably still that way. But yeah, all the pre-gens have you surrounded by water instead, which is interesting.
Yeah, very odd choice, but puts you on an island, so I guess that kind of locks you into the world you're supposed to be in. There is no escape when you're on the island.
There is no escape. Too bad you can't build a boat. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, yeah, maybe that's coming in Alpha 25 or something like that.
Probably more like Alpha 60. The end, which is essentially, the developers are 80 years old and they have to end it before they retire.
It just gets to Alpha 777 or some shit like that. Can't be 666 because this is 7 Days to Die, so it's got to be something to deal with.
777. Oh my gosh! The sign of the zombie.
The sign of the zombie. Oh my gosh! I think that's it right there. 777. The sign of the zombie. That's our next shirt.
I actually really like that. I think I am full on board with you on that one.
Yeah, I think we could find a variation of that we're probably gonna like. But yeah, so welcome to the first podcast of Freeplay, right? This is the very first episode of Freeplay.
Yep, this is our first episode.
Yeah, and we're playing 7 Days to Die, and like James says, we started with a challenge in mind, and that was to find a skyscraper. Well, technically, the challenge that we had in mind was to have, a horde night in a skyscraper, but it turned out the challenge was finding the skyscraper. Still have yet to complete.
I don't think we're going to complete that one on this map. I think you have hope on it. I really don't. I've scoured so much of the map so far.
Well, as soon as we can get gyrocopters, I think we'll be fine, but...
That's true.
This definitely ended going from a skyscraper to, like you said, the short tower, the short bus, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the topography, that was challenging. And luckily, I come into this world that James started, and he's got a bike ready for me, because he's played, I think, at this point, probably around 18 or 20 days with him and his sister. And so I got a pedal bike, right? He's got a moped, because obviously you're gonna keep the moped. I'd have done the same thing in his position, and he even did one better than me. He said I could use it. I never would have given him that privilege if he was coming into my world.
Oh, I was very kind. Let's just say that. But it was we played. We started playing my stress map. I'm getting stressed lately, and so I'm like, I'm gonna play some 7 days and de-stress. And so,
he
yeah.
he chose an odd one because this thing. So we go out in attempts to find the skyscraper. I'm setting out on a bike. There is a reason I started out this story. So no, anyway, I got a bike waiting for me, right? So we've got this challenge in mind. The first time I'm logging in, and the challenge is we already know we got to find the skyscraper. So we set out heading in different directions on this particular day, right? Trying to find skyscraper. I even conned my son into playing with us to try and just spread the search party out a little bit more and be successful in this. But holy cow, everything's a hill. He talks about stress relief. I'm talking about adding stress onto my day. Just trying to explore anywhere on that thing was a nightmare. So once we get gyrocopters, we'll be good.
Yeah, and I would have to say the biggest reason is the topography, right? It's the jags upon jags is kind of what I'm saying. The jagged edges of the hills that are so unnatural, and you only see this in like a game that's when you're doing game engine development, like we've been doing development. Like when you do a crappy job making a hill or a mountain, it's gonna be very jagged, very triangle, very like pointed, right? Which is not realistic in any way. But that's what this pre-gen is. It is just jags everywhere.
Yeah. Very jagged. We'll just say that. I was going to try and pull some old cable TV pun, but I'm not going to do it. But yeah, no, it was challenging because you could barely ride your bike anywhere without even your bike getting hung up or high centered or something. You know how it'll get just glitched out.
I couldn't carry anything. I couldn't carry anything. I just had to. I just left it empty because I'd have to pick it up it feels like every minute.
Yeah, exactly. I was pumped when I found out or remembered, because it's been a minute since we last played. We were last playing in Alpha 18, and it's been, I guess, about a year since I played at least. Anyway, so yeah, I got real comfortable with that storage for about 5 minutes before I had to empty it out 2 or 3 times within like the first 30 minutes of the game.
Yeah, no, and the roads, I started taking the roads more and more, but then the roads will, most of them stop just out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's it's so frustrating, because eventually after hours of us trying to Skyrim it, and just try and do it the hard, stubborn way, cross-country it, literally cutting country, we wisened up and got on the roads that would also end just randomly. So very frustrating. I get because a pre-gen, right? It's a pre-generated map, so you know what it's going to be every time, right? So does that necessarily mean somebody had to design it, or they just made a randomized seed, called it pre-gen 03, and that was always going to be what you got when you got that pre-gen? But was it randomized to begin with, or did somebody develop that shit?
I hope no one developed it, because they are the devil.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that's Satan's territory. That's gyrocopter land.
Yeah, it's like you have to have, and I will disclose this. I made it so that we doubled the amount of experience we'd make, just to make this a little quicker. And even so, I still haven't got the gyrocopter. I'm just like, oh, gotta get that for this world.
And we've got a decent amount built. Like, I'm surprised, honestly, that we haven't yet come across or unlocked it.
Well, the gyrocopter takes like level 10 in the intellect or whatever it's called, that path, and then you have to do 5 levels into the mechanic one. But like the leveling in the main attributes, once you get past like 4 or 5, then it starts doing 2, and then the last, I think, 2 or 3 skill points. So it takes a lot of skill points. Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of skill points, but still, with the increased experience, still, it felt like we'd be there. But yeah, anyway, so long story long, this has been a challenge to complete this challenge of even finding the skyscraper. So, what we decided to do was adopt this building that was pretty close to our base, and just tried to make it the short skyscraper for the time being, until we can find a skyscraper, if there even freaking is one.
Yep. Yep, but that's where the short tower challenge came into play. It morphed. It evolved. Let's just say that. It's now a beautiful butterfly that's really short.
We're really good at pivoting at this point, is what we're trying to tell you guys.
Exactly. But while, we decided on the location finally, like very last moment kind of thing, and then while all I know is while Tyson was out. What?
I'm just keep going.
While Tyson was out doing his searching, because I don't know how much he was actually looking for skyscrapers, because he found a lot of antenna, like the radio stations, but he found a lot of ammo. Let's just say.
Well, I didn't loot all of those antenna ones because those are bunkers, and you ain't got time to run through bunkers. But you'd run across like those shotgun messiahs or those big buildings, and if you've played as much as me and James have, you know you can cheat by just I don't know if it's cheating, but it's cheating if you're trying to play it roll. No, I don't even know. I don't even know if this is cheating. Anyway, building a ladder straight to the hot spot of the loot. Yeah. So everyone knows Shotgun Messiah in the big factory Shotgun Messiahs at the very top of the tallest little towers. It's like almost like a little triangle of cylindrical buildings. It's the loot spot. It's like where all of the good loot is. So you just build a ladder right up to the top, break down any uneven parts so you can continue building your ladder, and boom, you've got a straight shot to the loot. That way, every respawn, you don't have to battle that building again, because anyone who's gone through that Shotgun Messiah knows how much of a pain in the ass that is, especially around day 30.
I feel like when we did it last playthrough last year, we wasted more ammo than we actually picked up. We actually wasted more everything than what we picked up from that thing. Even though it has great drops typically, like.
Oh yeah, no, the loot is great, but it is so massive. And at least again, that was in 18, and I guess we haven't cleared a full one in 19, but I don't expect it to be different.
I think they're designed to be hard.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's if anything, it's probably more difficult because just experiencing what these zombies are capable of in Alpha 19, it's surprising how quickly they can get to you when you think you know their tricks.
Yeah, there's definitely a few new things that make the game a little bit more spicy, I would say.
Yeah,
but I mean, the drops seem much better.
The drops are much better. So while James was doing it the traditional way of scrapping together materials and crafting it all, I immediately pumped it into Lucky Looter. I got maxed out Lucky Looter as soon as I could, because I just know I'm going to do some looting. And I know it's best if you just get it open to level 5, and the quicker the better, because you can really start getting some really rare weapons and ammo and stuff like that. So anyway, in my search for the skyscraper, I would see these army, bases or tents or something like that, and I knew I could do a quick in and out to get to those hot loot spots. And lucky for me, I was able to amass quite the horde of ammo before this particular horde night. And honestly, I wish I would have had. Well, we'll definitely have more for the skyscraper, but it was a good amount. I think I had like 1,000 9mm. 700 something, 7.62, a whole shitload of Magnum, and we didn't even have a Magnum.
Still haven't gotten one. It's just how the progression works in this. Like, there's a lot of things we still haven't been able to obtain, and we're on day 35, 36.
Yeah,
takes some time. But
maybe it takes just leveling up too, because once I started putting it into it, it's like that's when I start getting those things. So I don't know, maybe we'll have to start spreading it out.
We'll definitely will. And I think from your experience, I think it's if you want to do some shooting, you got to do some looting is kind of the phrase now.
Oh hell yeah, you gotta get it, and even in this current in 19, I feel like these ammo drops are way better. I feel like I'm finding it way faster and in bigger supply. I'm struggling still with shotgun though. Like but in its own way. I'm struggling with shotgun because it's hard to save it up when you use it like a SWAT team and you use it to just blow down doors and like wood blocks and stuff. And you use it as basically your welcoming greeting mat and everything else that you would use any other tool for. You use a shotgun. So that's usually what the mode I get into once I start getting into heavy looting is I will just start shotgunning my way through everything. Yep. Zombies, doors, whatever. So I'm still running pretty low on shotgun though.
Yeah, I actually that's how I usually clear places. And now that you've found us some pump action shotguns, I'm very much more going down those clearing it with a shotgun instead of anything else. Just it's fun. When you're defending, I'm usually trying to be as far away from the zombies as possible. But when you're trying to loot, being close is fine because you're gonna have to be in close quarters anyways to find everything.
Yep.
And so
that's where I usually start running with that blunderbuss, and then double barrel's not bad, but once you can get a pump, it's nice. And we snagged 2 pumps right before like freaking Horde Night landed.
That was awesome. I actually did use that. I really did like that. I in fact, I don't like the double barrel. I just used it because I'd rather have the, any rifles or anything else for Horde Night. So I use shotgun typically. But once you get, once I got the 7, I think it holds 7 ammo, but the pump action, man.
It's just such a nice gun. And then once we get some slug loads, then they'll just be godly. I love the shotguns in this game, but the double barrels are trash.
Yeah, it's just it's too easy to double fire, and that's more on me. But it's still I double fire too much, and then I get hit by another. It's just If there's more than 2, then you're most likely going to get hit if you're not careful.
Yeah, well, and if you're using the sawed-off version, because I'm pretty sure you can get a double barrel that's a long barrel version, right? Or you can, or at least you could. Is that even still a thing in this one?
I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't seen it.
Maybe I'm just wrong. Either way, the double barrel sucks. Pump where it's at. So anyway, Lucky Looter. That is the best way, in my opinion, to get ammo, no matter what, because then you get the stuff you need to craft the ammo, and then you get the ammo itself. So it's like a little bit of sweetness with the cherry on top.
And I gotta say, like, the pre-gen map has, like, this one, pre-gen 3, has a ton of locations that are, like, military and any places where you can loot. So, actually, this map, if you're going to play this, is an amazing one to have a looter. Perks and stuff, because there's just so much to loot.
Yeah. We are shitting all over this pre-gen, but it's only because we're trying to find a skyscraper, and it is a pain in the ass trying to do anything in this map.
Yeah.
But for any other use, like any other reason you'd play in this, it's a great pre-gen.
If you're someone that likes to loot, there's a lot of big cities in this, and that usually comes with one city had 2 shotgun messiahs, I believe, or
the freaking city of our base. It's massive. Like I met him at one part, and he's like, "Oh yeah, follow me," and then we literally are just running like 500 meters in a different direction. I'm just like, "What the hell?" We're still in the same city, and that's where it has the 2 shotgun messiahs.
Yeah. No, but while you were out there looting and not doing much else, I was starting to prepare the tower and all that. But before that, like, I wanted to do some testing, do some prep work, and like we need a ramp. And I think we talked about, like, even you're the one that brought this up. Like, yeah, let's we need to not have a ramp, but like we need to have a way to jump off it. Like other guys now, right?
Yeah, like the other guys, the movie The Other Guys, Danson and Highsmith.
And it, like, aim for the bushes kind of thing, and so
yep.
Yeah, no, and when I heard that, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put some hay bales down at the bottom. When this thing inevitably collapses, which one Horde Night it will, even this tower that we're on, it's like 4 stories, I believe, tall. And I'm starting to build another tower on it. That one's nicknamed the Mini Tower of Babel. I forgot to tell you that, but yeah, I'm going to be calling that like the Tower of Babel. It's going to be fun. I'm going to see how high.
The mini tower.
I'm going to see how far I can get it.
So it's going to come crashing down.
Oh, it's guaranteed. That whole place is going to come crashing down. But before it crashes down, you're supposed to ramp off the ramp. I put it at the top. So I put a ton of hay bales, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want whoever's going to try this out, which I talked Tyson into trying this out, to die. So I put down like probably like 50 bales just everywhere. I missed one important thing though. I needed to put bushes in, but
Yeah. How are we supposed to aim for the bushes if there are no bushes?
Those hay bales used to be bushes. Because
they were a bush at one time.
Apparently, anything you hit that's a plant that gives you grass, you can turn into a hay bale. Apparently, it's all hay.
Well, no, technically, I don't think there were bushes in the other guys either.
Oh yeah,
were there bushes? We're gonna have to verify this.
I can't remember, to be honest now. Like
we'll put the GIF in if it exists in the video in the YouTube.
For sure, gonna have to do that. So if you're watching,
little jab out to the YouTubes. If you guys are podcast audio listeners only, you're missing out on a lot of spicy visuals on YouTube.
You get to see all the kinky stuff that Tyson wears every week to the podcast.
Besides that, I like to put in not spicy visuals, but fun visuals. So watch our YouTubes. But anyway, so yeah, I'll put in a little GIF of the Dancing and Highsmith from the other guys, so we can verify whether there were even bushes to begin with.
Well, I can verify one thing. I can verify that you made it off that ramp and you survived.
I barely did it. I sprinted off of it and literally hit the very first row of hay bales. There was like 40 other hay bales ahead of me, and I hit the very first row.
Yep. I designed it to go... Well, the reason I put so many, because I knew that jumping-wise we wouldn't get that far out. But I did it because the moped and the bike, right? And so... And you tested that, and you landed like in the center, so it's awesome.
Well, I mean, you did add a few more rows, so...
I think I added one more row to the front and to the back.
I got the video. We'll see. We'll clip it in there.
You survived. That's all that matters. And imagine if that was, oh my gosh, once we get a tower, because we'll do a tower. Don't worry. We're going to do a tower once we find a tower. If it has to be loading up a new map, 20 years down the road, we're going to get a tower in. But
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it's our free play game, so we'll find the damn tower.
That's gonna be such a hard one to put hay bales in test. We're gonna die so often doing that.
I don't know. It'll be fun, but either way, once we find the skyscraper, it's gonna be a jump down, but it's gonna be a jump into a pit. A lot of fun stuff and ideas coming for the skyscraper. Yeah. Lots of fun shit. But yeah, so we did build a ramp, and we rode off of it, and I successfully survived 2 times. Once on my feet and once on my pedal bike. And that pedal bike has never failed me, except for the multiple times it gets high-centered in this god-awful terrain.
It's funny, too, that it gets high-centered. It's like, and it's hard high-centered, like, a car almost.
Yeah. Well, and I guess visually it doesn't look high-centered, but if we were in a real environment driving over, like, a campfire, I guess, that might cause some forward momentum issues.
You obviously never BMX'd. You can get off anything. You can do so many different things with a
that's right.
With a bike.
You just bunny hop out of it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna bunny hop right into this next ad.
Wow, that ad came out of nowhere. I can't believe you just surprised us like that.
That's how quick and surprising a little bunny hop is.
Or just getting high-centered when you're just riding down. Like, I went over the same stupid Jag 20 different times. Now I high center on it. I'm serious.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like there was like a couple of them where like these are all duplicates, but I high center on one that I just yeah. But we eventually did have to high center on this next thing. That was preparing on the short tower. We had to we were stuck there. It was
boy.
A day before, I think, when we finally gave up looking for the big skyscraper, and we had to prepare.
I'm pretty sure that was off the cuff, because getting high-centered on this, yeah, perfect analogy. Because let me just tell you my journey. It starts out with chopping wood, as do all stories in 7 Days to Die. You're going to tell a story, it usually starts with your chopping wood. Anyway, so we're off chopping wood, right? And I get a decent enough distance from the house that it's inconvenient to run back. Because I like to chop wood. James is in the grove. and then I just go and do random tree farm. On this particular time, I'm random tree farming, right? So I'm using my bike to get me from tree to tree because it just saves on stam and it's quicker. So I end up being like 200 meters probably away from the house by the time I run out of water, and I'm like deadly ass thirsty to the point where I'm like struggling to regain stamina. And it's becoming a challenge to chop wood. So it's becoming worth it now to veer from the trail of trees and to go venture for some water, which I have even a nice a purifying mod on my helmet, so I can drink any water. So I go to the nearest water tower and I chop it open and outpours all this delicious water. And you can't use water.
No.
Right?
No.
Not like in the forest, which I was thinking it was, or at least remembering forest. So I'm trying to drink it without anything because I can't find a jar. No jars. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let's go find a jar. Cans don't work. Let's find a jar. So I go into the next like 5 houses and find tin cans only. And all I'm trying to do is just loot for water or a jar so I can go back to the water tower to fill it up. That's how my 2-day prep came high-centered on my journey for water. Was all I was supposed to do was chop wood, and I was 200 meters from the house, and I literally just went through house after house after house trying to find water just to chop some more wood.
And I'm over here.
It was successful.
I'm over here hearing the whole thing because, we're on Discord. I'm like, there's water in the base. What are you doing? Nah, I'm going to find some. Don't worry. And then every single thing he looked at that should have water, which every time I look anywhere in any kitchen, there's water. Nah, he spent 2 days, couldn't find anything. It's like the loot gods know how to punish us.
Yeah, and by this time, I'm just like, it's going to happen any minute. Like, this is silly. It's silly the level of me not getting even just an empty jar. So I'm like, it was just one of those things. You expected it, and the next thing you looted. And so that's how it went from 1 house to 5 houses, and not even 5 houses in the direction back to the base. It was just 5 more houses, like further and further out, because clearly I'm going to get one. No. So I didn't help prepare for this thing at all. So obviously I was the sacrificial bait for testing the roof and the ramp on all of that. And basically just laying down spikes in the maze that James was able to create while I was searching for water when we had a well back at the base.
A well? A well? We don't have
a literal well. A whale of a well.
A whale of a well? No, we had no well. We had water just cooked up and ready for you. That maze, man, the maze was a piece of garbage. Let's just say that.
I think it would have been fine if we weren't on the 4th floor.
Yes. I mean, I wasn't on the 4th floor a lot because we started like literally 20 minutes or game time 20 minutes in. I fell off the roof. Like, I was not long, and I was down on the 1st floor. But, yeah, no, we found that pathing is, pathing's a big deal. And that 4th floor, or it just doesn't bring them up. They start destroying the structure, right?
Yeah, it was, like, too far away from them to realize how they could ladder themselves up, so they just went to straight destroying the pillars and the supports of the foundation.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it did before, but I felt like we were just not that high enough to where, and there's like, it's open. Yeah, there's spikes in the way, but they should be able to pathfind up. No. I mean, they kind of did. They started going up like the makeshift stairs I kept on the side. But
I think that was once we started getting closer, though.
That's true. Once we started getting closer, they started going up that way. So definitely, like, the lesson I learned from that is you got to be on the same floor, and I think how I'm going to remedy to that next time is that I'm going to be on the other side of the maze, on the same floor. Force them to go through the maze, and then on each floor, and then once we have to escape up to the next one, we'll do that, so.
Well, maybe that's our issue is, do we have multiple ways into the 1st floor, or is it all just a singular path that we're trying to chokehold them into? Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should open it up so all we have to do is be on the 1st floor.
I think maybe just taking some boxes, some the blocks and building one or two more stairwells or something to bring them up. All I know is being Jigsaw is hard.
Yeah, being Jigsaw, holy hell.
I can't get anyone to get trapped in my trap.
Well, it's probably a good thing that this happened, because if we were in the skyscraper, we probably would be on the very top floor of the skyscraper just waiting. Maybe we would. Maybe we would have started on the top, but we would have started working our way down because we're like, okay, what the hell is taking so long? And it turns out they were just down there destroying the freaking foundation of the skyscraper. So we learned a good, valuable lesson, right? That we got to at least be somewhat close to these sons of bitches for them to pathfind.
Yeah, and talking about that, maybe like we just get in a tower like one of the skyscrapers and just wait for them to collapse, so we do have to try to get off. But I think once they collapse it, you just instant die. So that's gonna be a hard one to figure out.
Well, maybe that's what we should turn it into: is a skyscraper collapse into a jump down the tunnel, landing on hay bales, but then they have to break through all of the defenses to try and get into the pit.
Exactly. If it's a pretty big pit, could you just remove the hay bales and have them just fall to their death, or do you think they wouldn't? I can't remember if they would fall.
I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of experimenting. 7 days is very fun. This is one of the reasons I love survival and build them up kind of games where you can affect the terrain and build buildings and stuff like that. I definitely
affect pathing.
Yeah, I definitely think their pathing's changed a little bit since we started a couple years ago.
Seems like it. Like it's like a hybrid of what it was before.
Yeah, exactly. What hasn't changed, though, is that we're still spike queens here. We still love our spikes. Or I am the spike queen. This is kind of more of like a reference to like I'm the lizard.
James is the spike queen.
Simpsons.
I'm the spike king. I'm the husband.
I'm the husband. Oh, I love that. IT crowd. But it's not the best way, actually, even though I'll probably still continue doing it that way. The best way you can actually do spikes is more of the giant spike cone, which is, it's just a cone, right? Where the spikes we're talking about are just jagged sticks that you can put together real quick. The cone you can put upside down, and like if you dig into the dirt and put it upside down in the dirt,
concrete cone, right?
No, it could be a wood cone.
What? Oh yeah, the big cone spike.
Yeah, they're like a spike, but it's a cone, and you can turn it's actually what we probably should have been using anyways for certain areas because then they can run over it and it does a lot of damage. It's potato on this.
Well, it probably would have been a giant space saver as well on the outside.
Yeah, and well, the secret is until they fix this, which who knows if they will or not. If you place it upside down, so if you place it cone down into the ground, a zombie walks over the flat part, it still hurts them. So and it doesn't degrade as fast or if at all. I can't remember. I'd have to test it again, but it's just a fun little fact there.
Why the hell aren't we using this technology if you're supposed to be the spike queen?
I'm Spike, not the spike cone queen. I'm the spike queen.
So now we've got to do a little bit of changing.
Yeah, because I watched someone playing 7 Days the other day on YouTube and
learned the tricks.
Just a shout out to Cap. That's who I've been watching. But no, that's how I learned.
All right. So let's get that implemented into the skyscraper.
Yeah,
whenever we find it.
Oh my gosh! Right? That's that's going to be interesting to see how we're going to figure that out because it really is fun building the mazes and stuff like that. But the pathfinding, man, that pathfinding gets in the way every time, and I don't know. We're just going to have to experiment a bunch and figure out the paths. I think.
I feel like we can on a legit skyscraper we could just hack it with a ladder on the outside and we'll just break it as we climb up.
If you do it right, you can actually make it so they can't climb in certain ways up the ladder, but
we will break it.
Break it real good. Yeah, no, that's probably not a bad idea until I fall off. I probably will fall off within like 2 minutes because apparently, I don't know. I'm good at staying on the edge until a zombie's coming. I want to look over and shoot the zombie, and I fall off every time.
Yeah, I swear you used to be able to crouch, and it would lock you onto the edge before you were gonna fall off, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. Or maybe that was just in a different game. Was that Minecraft?
I don't know. Maybe
I
Minecraft.
think that was
Sounds
Minecraft.
very familiar though. Um,
Either way, put that shit in this game.
Yeah, agreed. Because yeah, if I'm it would be nice to be able to stay on the ledge, and I get it. Trying to add realism, but 7 days
Yeah,
isn't realistic enough to not have it.
yeah, it's yeah. I think it definitely is fine, but it's for even building, for just trying to build or place. When you're trying to extend out a landing or something like that, being able to know you're not going to fall off like 50 stories, something like that is nice.
Yeah, and I just gotta say, like my pathfinding is garbage. So I guess I can't really get mad at the AI and the game developers for the pathfinding with the zombies, because my pathfinding's not great either. I fall off. I don't get to where I need to be. But
you're just testing out the spikes, verifying that zombies are going to die.
Exactly. But we were exactly where we needed to be right when the horde started. We were at the top of we weren't where we needed to be. Thought we were, but like the zombie, like they started coming in, and they came in pretty hard with like a ton of the buzzards, man. The undead buzzards.
Yeah, right off the bat.
There was like 10, I swear, within like the first hour. And luckily we had the little junk shooter right there, and oh man. Junk shooters are the saviors of that game.
I will say I just crouched down next to that thing, and I'd hear it fire off 3 times, and it would kill one of those freaking death hawks or death vultures, whatever the hell they are. And that thing was keeping my ass safe. I forgot how good junk turrets are.
Yeah, they really are. In fact, they're my favorite weapon per se, like automated weapon, because you can get shotgun, you can get like all sorts of different types of turrets. The junk turret is easy to reload. It's easy to make the ammo. You just have to use junk metal to make the ammo, and you just slam it into that thing, and it does a good enough job. But yeah, maybe when you get into like hundreds of days and you start getting into really hard hordes, maybe you need something better. But that thing is the best thing you can find for like doing horde nights, I think.
Yeah, and it's a great anti-air gun. It was freaking handling those damn buzzards. So honestly, for anything, keep using them for that.
That's definitely one thing where you can put cages. You can like make cages around the top of.
Oh yeah,
that was just I didn't even think about that. Yeah, but I still had the Tower of Babel and our ramp up there, so that was what was important. I didn't focus on actual defense. My actual focusing on the defense was putting spikes down and a maze. That was me doing that. But,
I filled out spikes. That's all I did.
Yep, and there was already a ton in that place too, but we added a ton more, and they never really got hit. But even with that, like, I was surprised how easy it was.
Yeah, it was a piece of cake, honestly. That short tower is going to last for a while. And it is a wider base than a skyscraper building, but, well, a little bit. But
yeah, I think so. I don't know exactly, like... Yeah, it felt wider, and it felt like it was... we've done other defenses where they just go down so quick. This one doesn't feel like it would just... They just didn't take out the support columns as fast. Like, I reinforced them a little bit before we started, but they were able to get into our sites just enough to where we were able to shoot them all the time. Like, just get them.
Yeah. It was honestly a really easy horde night. We were stressed, and turns out spikes did it all.
I think we just lucked out because we were on day 35, and so yeah, because I think if we would have been like in the 60s or higher, yeah, we don't even have. I don't think we have demolition zombies yet.
No,
the exploder ones, and that's where it gets really hard. I feel like, because they'll just massively take out like a quarter of your defense if you're not careful.
Well, I think are they based on day, or are they based on like your technology path, not path, but you know what I'm saying?
I think it gets harder every horde night is how they have it. It could have other factors into it, but the more days you go, the harder it gets. I can vouch for that, at least in Alpha 18, because every horde night we went through, there was more and more of them. So,
well, because we were getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
Was it our progress increasing our enemy's strength?
I feel like our progress in this is a lot quicker. So
Yeah. And look at all these crazy zombies that they're throwing at us.
well, the jumpers, man, that's what got me. I died actually on this one. It was easy, but I died. So I shouldn't say it was that easy because I don't think I ever died on any of the other Horde nights on this particular playthrough or map. I fell down and then a radiated zombie jumped on me, and then I was trying to switch to like heal real quick because I was starting to bleed, and I didn't notice how much health I had, and I went out really quick. Oof.
Yeah, that was the one thing I've not gotten back into the habit of is putting bandages on my toolbar.
Yeah, but I had them on there. It took me a little bit longer to switch because I wanted to kill it first, but then I noticed I was going to bleed out actually before I could kill it. So it was probably not the right decision, but it got me killed. And F this game. Never playing again.
Hey, I survived the whole night. It was a piece of cake. Had my bow and arrow, had my 7.62, my sniper rifle. I was set to sail, man, having a dandy old time. I just didn't have any Molotovs. That was the only thing that was missing was a little bit of fire from me.
I had like 5 Molotovs and I only used 1. But to be really fair, like there wasn't enough crowding to really warrant them, I feel like at times.
I think there was like one or two times it was I wish I had it, but
yeah.
For the most part, grenades did all right.
All I know is that Tower of Babel, like that's because I've started making the tower. It was funny because you come in not really knowing the whole layout because I've been working on it for 2 days while you were fighting.
Yeah,
water.
That was bullshit.
And then you fall down this this tower in the center. I'm like, and you're like, what is this? How do I get out? I'm like, who falls into a random hole? Like,
a random hole? It's at the top of the tower. It's the tower.
Yeah, it's a tower. A tower doesn't need to have a.
This guy builds this just hole in the top of our base, and so here I am defending it, and then I fall back into it, and then there's just no escape. There's no ladder out of it. There's no freaking no doorway, no hatch. I'm just stuck in this pit on Horde Night. Just stuck.
Yeah, I was not planning on making any way to get out because I was planning on covering it up, but when I got to the top.
Luckily, it was still wood. I just had to hack through a couple of layers.
Oh, yeah. You ruined my tower.
Yeah, well, I saved the day. I think it was worth it. I think it was worth it in the end.
I do, too. I think this whole challenge was worth it. It was frustrating, but in the end, I had a blast, to be honest. Just like any other time. I don't know if it beats the butthole challenge, but, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Nothing beats that. I will say the fact that we were so challenged on finding what we were even trying to build the challenge upon was pretty challenging.
Yeah. No, it very much was like, because there's a lot of different options I think we were looking into the future. There's like Zombie Island, defending an island, and just there's so many other things we can choose, but this was fun. And I really can't wait because this is like a prelude to the actual tower challenge and how we're going to survive that if we do. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
Because the Horde Night, it comes whether you're challenge ready or not. So we had no skyscraper; we had to build the short tower.
Oh man, I want to do like a creative mode where it's like Horde Night every night, but we get at least build up the tower first, so then we can just try to survive. That'd be fun. There's a lot to this game that's fun, and I think that's my favorite part about 7 Days is just working together with other people to defend Horde Night. It's a challenge because you're not going to survive every time.
No, not when you have balance like James does.
Exactly. I had horrible balance. I'm usually a little better, but man.
No, but it really is. You don't have to approach everyone the same. You can try and do things differently and then test things out till they fail. And it's probably one of the funnest aspects of the game. If you're not playing it with the idea of failure in mind, then what the hell are you doing with your life?
Oh, there's some perfect strategies out there that are pretty close to perfect where it takes the fun out of it. But beyond that, I think they've patched some of that out. But there's almost no perfect way. Like once you get high enough into the Horde Nights, there's going to be some type of trouble.
Yeah, well, and the Demolishers definitely help with that crap.
Yes, they do.
Hard to not make them explode.
I just have to aim for that red piece. And I'm like, I gotta hit it.
I thought that's what sets them off.
I know it is. You don't want to hit it, but I want to aim.
See, that's the hardest. See, that's the hardest part about it all. Is I'm pretty sure both of us think the opposite sets it off, and so we, no matter what, we're setting it off.
Oh no, I don't want to hit it, but I want to hit it. Like usually, I want to hit it, but you're not supposed to.
Oh, gotcha. Because I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure that sets it off. Now I understand why demolitioners are such a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
it's because James is shooting them and blowing them all up.
I'm not. I will shoot the red thing if they're far enough away. I will do that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That's kind of what you're supposed
to. Right next to your base.
I was like, oh, it's right next to Tyson's bicycle. Well, it's a casualty I'm willing to risk, and so.
Oh yeah, it's the price of war.
Exactly. Anything that's yours, I'm like, if it blows it up, I can just tell them the demolitioner, blew it up.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
going to start chucking pipe bombs at your ass on Horde Night.
Oh my goodness. No, this is oh man. Free play. This is our first free play episode, and 7 days is awesome. Kind of curious what we're going to do in the future because it's free play. You never know what's going to come, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a good chunk of 7 days to die, but like we said, it's going to be full of what the hell we want to play, so that's our one episode a month for ourselves.
Yep, Sons of the Forest, that's going to be in this mix someday soon when they come.
Yeah, whenever we can get a damn release date for it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's man, so many good games to play, but 7 Days is just such a classic. So many good stories.
It is one of the better games.
Yeah, so this is pretty much it. Anything else you want to say about this challenge that we had, Mr.
Yeah, it's the short bus version of what we're trying to accomplish. Keep yourselves prepared for the skyscraper.
Yeah, it's gonna get so much better when we get the skyscraper and it falls and we just die. It's like we come back, we're like, yeah, we spent 7 days preparing, and it literally went down in 1 hour, and we died, and we couldn't respawn because our bags are at the top. So,
oh my god,
it's
the worst
design ever. That's my prediction for what's going to happen on our tower challenge.
You have little faith.
Oh, maybe. A lot of things have failed. Some people have to search for that water too much, and
you shut your whore mouth.
Other people have to make. I wasn't supervised, so I made a big tower that had a hole in the middle. So,
yeah, bad engineering.
I'm an engineer. I'm an engineer. I just if statements and for loops.
Oh my gosh,
that's the only thing I engineer. Yeah, no, this is the Games Revealed podcast, brought to you by Bunny Strike Studios. This is James,
and I'm Tyson,
and we're signing out. Go check out shopbunnystrike.com and gamesrevealed.com. Later, guys.
Peace.